So today we got some brand new entries into the competition for biggest alleged grift of the Trump administration. And I guess I should say biggest grift so far. There's time to go, people, time to go. But truly, today we learned about multiple alleged grifts that could be some of the biggest grifts in American history. Let's just start with Corey Lewandowski. And you may know him as Trump's former campaign manager or as Kristi Noem's alleged secret boyfriends, an allegation they both deny. But officially, Corey Lewandowski's title in the federal government is special government employee. Basically, he had been a de facto chief of staff to Kristi Noem at DHS, and the role was supposedly unpaid. But today, NBC News reported that Lewandowski was at the very least trying to use that position to enrich himself. Here's the headline. Some DHS contractors told White House officials they were asked to pay Corey Lewandowski. Now, the big allegation in this piece is about the private prison company GEO Group. It is one of the biggest private prison companies in the country and is a key part of ICE's system of detention centers all across the country. A senior DHS official and three people familiar with the discussion told NBC News that after Trump was elected during the transition, Lewandowski told the founder of GEO Group that he wanted to, quote, be paid in exchange for protecting and growing GEO Group's DHS contracts. Protecting and growing is doing a lot of work there. Now, those sources said that the founder of GEO Group declined that offer. Then months later, Trump was sworn in, Kristi Noem was made Secretary of Homeland Security, and Lewandowski got his quote-unquote unpaid special government employee gig. So Lewandowski and the founder of GEO Group had another conversation. Now, two industry sources familiar with the matter told NBC News that in that conversation, the founder of GEO Group offered to put Lewandowski on retainer, basically a recurring consulting fee. But those sources say that wasn't enough for Lewandowski because he wanted to be compensated based on the company's new or renewed contracts with DHS. So basically, as a government employee, he allegedly wanted to make money for giving government business to this company. Now, the founder of GEO Group declined that deal, and then in the months that followed, the length of two of GEO Group's federal contracts shrank, and their detention centers sat idle, even while DHS is spending billions building massive new detention centers all around the country, sometimes giving contracts to very inexperienced companies. Now, I should mention that Lewandowski's spokesperson called it absolutely false, that Lewandowski that he ever demanded payment from GEO Group. And DHS's general counsel's office told NBC News that Lewandowski is in compliance with all required ethics, financial disclosure reporting, and training requirements. Okay. But oh boy, I mean, that is a hell of a story. And that is just one of the stories, just one, about major alleged grift we got today. The other is about President Trump's adult son, Don Jr. Last year, Don Jr.'s venture capital firm invested in a startup focused on rare earth magnet production. 3 months after that investment, the startup landed a $620 million government contract. How lucky for them, isn't it? Now, while the rare earth magnet startup was only valued at about $200 million when Don Jr.'s firm invested in it, today people familiar with the matter told Bloomberg that the startup is now valued at nearly $2 billion. I should note that all the parties involved told Bloomberg that there was no connection between the Trump administration's decision to back the company and the investment by Don Jr.'s firm. The startup CEO says he's never communicated with Don Jr. in any way. Don Jr.'s venture capital firm says it had zero involvement in the government contract, and a spokesperson for Don Jr. says that he doesn't interface with the federal government on behalf of any company that he invests in or advises. Guess it's just some really, really coincidental good luck, I guess. Now, we got these two news stories today, but amazingly, they don't even come close to the scale of the biggest alleged corruption story we got this week. A scandal that is all the more concerning now that the United States is at war with Iran. Because on Friday, the New York Times reported that Jared Kushner is still soliciting funds from countries in the Middle East while actively negotiating on America's behalf as Trump's Middle East envoy. No conflict of interest there, is there? I mean, there's an obvious one. 5 people with knowledge of the talks told the New York Times that Kushner had spoken to potential investors about raising another $5 billion for his investment firm. 2 people briefed on the discussions told the Times that Kushner's firm has already met with the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, and that other sovereign wealth funds from the countries like the UAE and Qatar are also expected to be asked for more. Now, the chief legal officer for Kushner's investment fund told The Times that the firm does not intend to take any additional capital while Jared is volunteering for the government. And a spokesperson for the White House said that Kushner only acts in the best interest of the American people, however they define that. I don't know about you, but I would like someone to double check all of that. And thankfully, Democrats in Congress are on the case. One of the Democrats leading that charge, the ranking member of the House Oversight Committee, Robert Garcia, joins me now. Okay, one of our amazing producers, Sam, put that all together. We may have missed some things. There were so many details. But you and Senator Wyden sent two letters today, one demanding answers from Kushner's investment firm about what they have been doing, the other demanding answers from the White House about what exactly Jared has been doing on behalf of the U.S. government. Give us the specifics of what information you are looking for, what you want from them.
Sure. And let me first give some more information. I mean, let's first remember that when Jared Kushner was involved in the first Trump administration, just a few months after leaving the White House and Trump won, he actually goes on just months later and gets $2 billion from the Saudis for this same investment fund. And we had questions then. We've continued to ask questions of how Kushner was then able to go and get other additional support from other countries. And now we have this new information that he is going around to countries across the Middle East and getting billions of dollars again for this investment fund, while essentially being the lead envoy on Middle East issues for the Trump White House. This is corruption. This is the most corrupt administration. And what Jared Kushner is doing clearly stands against ethics, principles, laws of separation of powers and the private sector. And what we have to do at this moment, both on the Senate side and the House side, is vigorously investigate Kushner, the companies that he's involved with, the investment firm itself, and ask our friends and allies, what the hell is going on? Why are the Saudis pumping billions of dollars into essentially Kushner's investment firm while he's putting Middle East policy together for Trump?
It all is a coincidence, according to them, which, you know, if you believe I have a bridge to sell you in Alaska or somewhere. Let me ask you also about Corey Lewandowski, because I just went through some highlights of this eye-popping NBC story that just came out today. You have your hands full investigating a lot of people and all sorts of things, but there's a lot of interest in these DHS contracts, in his role, too. What can you do to get to the bottom of that? Is that something you and your colleagues are going to investigate?
We're actually making pretty good progress. So over the last few months, we have already been looking at DHS and Lewandowski. We've had folks approach us. We've had interviews and conversations with folks that have all been concerned that essentially Lewandowski has set up a pay-to-play scheme at DHS, where folks are essentially going through him to get big government contracts, and then he is somehow benefiting from those contracts. And reporting that's come out here in the last couple of days, particularly reporting through NBC, has made it very clear that our suspicions, all the evidence is pointing in the same direction. That Lewandowski, who apparently has had a special relationship with, of course, with Secretary Noem, is somehow benefiting financially directly by putting together these deals, these contracts as a special government employee. And so we have questions, not just for Lewandowski, not just for DHS, but we're going to those companies directly. And the companies know that they cannot hide from the Oversight Committee forever. They're going to have to answer our questions. And we're continuing to hear, by the way, from even voices inside the administration that are actually seeing and they believe witnessing corruption directly from Lewandowski and Noem. So we're going to get to the bottom of this. It's a big part of our investigation, and I'm glad that folks are beginning to talk to us on this issue.
That's a juicy one. I hope you'll come back and talk to us about that, too. Congressman Robert Garcia, thank you as always.